Over 1 million cinema lovers have already subscribed to Film Companion. What are you waiting for? Hit the bell icon and join our film family. Hi, Ryan. Welcome to Film Companion.
Hi, thank you. Nice to be here.
My takeaway from the Adam Project was that lovely quote, which apparently the Romans inscribed on their sundials: "Enjoy yourselves, it's later than you think."
Yeah.
Love that. And wanted to ask you, how did doing this film sort of make you, I don't know, reconsider priorities, if it did at all?
First off, enjoy yourself, it's later than you think, was a huge point of contention on our set, because where that saying comes from, it's been bastardized by so many different people. My brother always says, "Go sailing, it's later than you think." And it always stuck with me. So I wrote it into the script. And then I looked up its origination, and some places talked about it being in the Roman sundials, and other people talk about it being Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadians, which is a band leader and a singer back in the 40s and 50s. But so no one's quite sure where that comes from, and that's why we discuss it that way in the movie. But the movie itself, was really interesting to kind of deal with some subject. But usually I don't do movies that are incredibly personal. This one kind of was a perfect sort of intersection for me. I like movies that are wish fulfillment and spectacle driven and larger scale, but at the same time, it was about something very small and very important and emotionally speaking. And I had an intensely complicated relationship with my own father, who's passed away, and it sort of really closely mirrored a lot of what it was that I'm experiencing with what, or have experienced with my own mom and my own dad, and then to a lesser extent my own self. Really, when we talk about my 12-year-old self in the movie.
What I find fascinating, Ryan, is that the persona that you play on screen, who this charismatic and very funny and sarcastic and sharp person, is also who we think you perhaps are in life, right?
Sure.
That's our impression of who you might be. Does it ever get confusing for you? Like, where does the acting start and where do you stop?
Not at all, because that sort of persona or whatever it is that you might be expressing right now is just a sort of an advanced and somewhat adaptive self-defense mechanism. Really, it's not the real actual me. If my wife was sitting here, she would laugh, because in real life I'm much more shy and much more introverted, and I'm a bit of a hermit. I'll stay in as long as they'll let me stay in. So no, there's no confusion there at all. That sort of other persona is kind of what allows me to, go on in films and television and make a living.
So. You are also one of the hardest working actors in the business. You have multiple releases every year, and now you've announced that you are taking a sabbatical from being on set. Is there some part of you that finds this a little scary?
Not at all. I've never really found that scary. I've always just felt really lucky to be where I'm at in the film industry. So my expectations were always very low. I started out in this business in doing improv comedy, and my sort of highest ideal or highest sort of watermark that I could hit would be like playing a wacky neighbor in a sitcom. So, which is a great job. I managed to ended up doing a sitcom years ago, and everything else after that has just been like, mind blowing to me. So there's no part of me that feels entitled to what I have. I really am grateful for the career that I've had. So living in that and that feeling doesn't really worry me to step away from it as much, because I already feel like I've gotten away with something.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the interview.